One of the things I recommend them is that parents need to be intentional about something we call food literacy. And all of us, I think, we need to be very intentional about food literacy.
Okay.
Food literacy is knowing food beyond the shallow way we know food. Beyond sausage, beyond pizza, beyond ugali, beyond omena, beyond whatever.
Chapati.
It is relating with this food in a more intimate manner. Understanding where this food comes from, how it's processed, how it's prepared, the cultural perspective, how it relates with my health, particularly that one.
Yeah, not just eating.
Not just eating.
Yeah. Hello there and good morning. Merry Christmas to you. My name is Frida Wasonga. I am so excited to host this particular conversation today, because it's something that concerns us during this festive season. And I am happy to have a very seasoned guest to speak about this particular topic. As you know, I have been hosting these parenting conversations every Tuesday morning, and I am so happy to always see your comments on the comment section and to see you watching the content and learning from what I host. And I would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel if you have not yet done so, and to hit the notifications button so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So allow me today to invite my guest today. We will be talking about healthy eating habits, especially during the festive season, and how parents and children can eat healthy in the festive season. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Crispus Kinyua, and I'm really excited to be here in this space to talk about food. I am a nutritionist by training. I am a food activist. I am a foodie. I love food.
Yeah.
And I'm also the founder and director of a non-profit called IFJAD. IFJAD stands for the Institute for Food Justice and Development. And we are advocating for food justice and socioeconomic development among people who work in food systems. We call them food workers. We are championing fairness, dignity, and sustainability in food systems. So I'm really excited to be in this space to talk about food.
Yeah. Karibu sana. And nutrition is a very helpful topic, especially in parenting. So why is it important to talk about nutrition, especially at this time?
So that's a good question. Nutrition is a very important topic to discuss, actually all the time, and particularly now in Christmas for a few reasons.
Yeah.
Because firstly, it's about time when families eat more times together than other days of or months of the year.
Yeah.
You find families getting together, and a lot of eating happens. A lot of chicken suffer. A lot of goats suffer. A lot of cows, they die because of the same.
Yeah.
So you find a lot of celebrations. A lot of food is eaten. And so it's really important to talk about food and nutrition, so that at least people can still be reminded that even in as much as we have festivities happening, we still need to eat well, but with a bit of moderation, with a bit of limitation, so that we don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So how can we now eat with that moderation? Because we find most of the times we are eating, like you said, animals or sugar. So how do we moderate our eating? Yeah,
so now, part of the reason we need to be mindful, first of all, before I think we do go to how to moderate, is because some of our family members are people who have what people call lifestyle diseases, but we call them non-communicable diseases.
Okay.
For instance, some have diabetes, some have hypertension, and some have other conditions.
Cancer.
and cancers and so on. But particularly for diabetes and hypertension, those ones are usually very directly related to eating.
Okay.
For instance, someone who has diabetes, if they take a soda or 2 sodas or a cake or many chapatis, directly, immediately, their body starts responding to that. And they have what you call the sugar spikes, hyperglycemia. And so it's important to be mindful about eating during these seasons for such people. And you see now many of us go to shags. Our grandmas, our grandpas, some of our aunties and uncles already have these conditions. So during eating times, then we need to be mindful of it, mindful of them, so that you don't eat too much and now your body starts to suffer. Secondly, children. Christmas times historically have been times when children are exposed to now the dangerous foods. We call them dangerous foods, ultra-processed foods. These are foods that have undergone a lot of refining. They are high in sugar, high in salt, and high in fats. And the problem with these foods to children is that they start reinforcing norms. It's normal to eat these foods, and it exposes children to these foods. And they start now having appetite for them. And you see, whenever there's eating and there's family and there's good times, it creates a nice environment. You don't forget some of these things. And I'm sure you also have some memories of your childhood eating, So
and not waiting for those moments when we will be eating such.
Exactly. So then again, we've got to be mindful about what we are eating, because we have seen trends whereby our diets are changing from traditional indigenous foods to modern foods, and some of these modern foods are really refined and unsafe, and they are causing a lot of diseases. Where they are made, where they come from, the western part of the world where they come from, in the eastern, they are causing many diseases, and we are adopting them pole pole. And so we've got to be mindful of that. And so you asked how can we moderate this? Basically making a choice as a family. We don't have to be carried away by the Christmas spirit. We don't have to eat everything and everywhere and overcook,
So you've talked about some dangerous foods. Could you probably give us some examples of those dangerous foods?
Very well. So now dangerous foods are, in nutrition we call them foods that are rich in nutrients of concern. And nutrients of concern are sugar, salt, and fats. You find that a lot of modern foods have these 3 foods in one food in high amounts, right? For instance, I think I could mention a few examples. You find people will eat fries or chipo, of course high in salt, and then they deep fried chicken, and then sodas or milkshake. So these foods already have very high salt, very high sugar, very high fat content.
Deep fried chicken has high salt?
Both, basically both. So then what we normally say, we don't police people to avoid. We tell people to reduce.
Eat in moderation.
Eat in moderation. Now, these foods are causing a crisis in the West, in America, for instance, because they're very popular foods. You find people eating these foods almost every day. Every day you have to eat one of those.
Chips and chicken.
Yes, or milkshake and burgers. They have very high levels of calories. They give you that spike, that the happiness. They are very tasty. They are very tasty. And some of them also are prepared with this thing we call MSG, monosodium glutamate. It kind of makes everything sweet. I don't want to mention the local brand names because it makes everything feel very tasty. And so somehow it brings about addictions, and depending on these foods. And so around now our Christmas tables, these foods that are deep fried, let's do in moderation. Anything deep fried, in moderation. Anything that has too much sugar, the cakes, the biscuits, the chocolates, the sodas especially. Why don't we do blended juice? We have the steamer squeezing in shags. Why don't we try and do the blending of juices? In fact, we, in our work of advocacy and our food activism, we are trying to really discourage people from taking these now ultra-processed foods. Back to chipo. You see, you will take chipo which has very high salt content, fat content, and then you take with tomato sauce. Tomato sauce does not have tomatoes. It has very, very little tomatoes, and everything else is just starch and sugar and those chemicals that they
really?
They have. There's very little tomato in tomato sauce. What we have been eating is
sugar.
Somehow we need to go back to our indigenous foods and restore the pride. Perhaps as we go on in this conversation, we'll discuss more of that. How our indigenous foods need to be protected and brought back.
What are some affordable feeding, ideas or foods actually that can be done and also still make us feel like we are having fun, like partying and having merry?
Great question. Now I guess we can talk about our indigenous foods and nutritious foods and say nutritious food can it? It can.
Yeah, because we think that ugali and spinach is not merry, it's not party food.
Yeah. Well, in Western it is. In Western it depends on where you come from. In some parts of this country, like Western, ugali is just food for every season. It doesn't matter what, even in weddings.
Yeah, I see.
There has to be ugali. If there's no ugali, those people will be offended, But where we come from, I think, Mount Kenya region, now the potato people, I don't fight potatoes. There are nice ways you can cook potatoes, including roasting them.
Instead of deep frying.
Yes. You can bake in the oven. Do some rosemary, some nice, some oil and some spices here and there, and it's very nice.
Okay.
So you don't have to deep fry waru for it to be tasty. And so again, nutritious food doesn't have to be boring.
Okay.
Nutritious food actually is and can be very, very tasty and should be tasty. In fact, we say that every food that we take should be prepared with care and with caution and with the dignity it deserves. Food should be tasty because that is how it's actually meant to be taken. So examples of foods, of course, now anything that so there's this thing we call cultural relevance, where and also food preferences. Every family has its own favorite foods. And again, there are many factors that make families choose certain foods. Part of it is now affordability. And just choice.
Okay.
Regardless of what you're taking, it's possible to turn any food into a party. It's possible to take any food and for it to be nutritious and actually be worth celebrating over. Because all you need to do is just cook it nicely. Even githeri can be a party food if done really well. Not the high school one. I know the high school githeri, not that one. People have trauma over githeri and ugali because of high school and school basically. But any food can be taken and cooked really well, really well, and turned into good food. But all in all, we always recommend balance in food, in nutrition.
Okay. Balanced
food, right? So there's the pilau and chicken and the greens and the fruits. Balance is good. Nyama choma is also fine. Adding it to the mix, excuse me. And others will want ugali with fish, with creamed spinach, with juo, the blended juice now, not the ones you buy there, the sodas. And they basically, and they're also vegetarians in this, and they also need to enjoy Christmas without meat.
Actually,
And they make very good food with the eggplant. Eggplant? Biryani. Makes very good food, veggies and veggie stews. So, regardless of what you're eating, again, tuangalia mfuko. We have undergone a drought. We are undergoing a drought. January will be a tough month for sure, food-wise, for many households. And school fees. So tuangalia mfuko. We can celebrate, but also in moderation.
Balance, Okay, so now let's go to children. How much sugar
Yeah.
is too much for children?
So now, sugar is a very contentious topic. Very contentious.
Okay.
First of all, okay, you don't have to do sugar, first of all. Like the table sugar, you don't have to.
Okay.
But we do check it. And
Yeah.
again, the proper nutritionist will never tell you to avoid stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, moderation.
Moderate, yeah.
So anything above 25 grams for children, above 2 years, of course. Children below 2 years, don't give them sugar.
Okay.
Above that, not exceeding 5 tablespoons or 25 grams. Now,
Per day or per
per day,
week?
per day, per day.
Okay.
Not exceeding. So
Yeah.
anything below.
Yeah.
But you know what? Christmas and sodas, Christmas and cakes, Christmas and ice cream, Christmas and everything.
Milkshakes, yeah.
Milkshakes and smoothies. You find that one bottle of soda, for instance, will exceed that amount by far. So when you've given that kid one soda, already I may exceed all the requirements of sugar.
Yeah.
Then they will have to, then there's cake, and then there's chocolates, and then there's ice cream.
Yeah.
So usually, it's quite a bit of a problem, and so, and it will also be and sweets.
Sweets, yeah.
So basically, it's all about moderating these things to children intentionally. We are having a big fight also in terms of children and access to this the sugary stuff.
Yeah.
They are highly marketed. They are just everywhere, all over.
Everywhere.
They are near schools.
Yeah. In the supermarket,
In the
they are on the
supermarkets.
aisles, yeah.
Where you're
They
paying.
don't hide them.
You know, these guys are very clever.
Exactly.
When you're paying your bills in the supermarket, those things are there, just they are the sugary
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And they're also to the level of the child.
Yeah. They
So that the
can
child
take
can
it.
pick and throw tantrums if you don't buy them.
Exactly.
So, but
Yeah.
again, children can be modeled. That's the good thing. You know, there are children also who don't like sweets because they have been denied of sweets from an early age. It's just about, even you as an adult, you play a big role in terms of modeling behavior in children.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell this child not to take that sugary stuff.
And
And as a mom, you're the one who brings cakes all the time.
yeah.
You bring sodas all the time in the house.
Or you're eating sweets. in
You're
your
eating
bedroom.
sweets yourself all the time. So you have to model this
Yeah.
to children.
Okay, yeah.
So sugar needs to be really moderated, and it's not an easy thing because again a lot of our things also have sugar. And to remind you also, sugar, there's that refined sugar that we buy in the supermarkets in 1 kg or 2 kgs. But a lot of our foods these days also have the carbohydrates also. You know, carbohydrates are turned into sugar in the body.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
So, like now wheat, the white wheat, and the white bread, the white chapatis
Ugali.
are also, the white ugali, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Especially now the ugalis. Nowadays you're seeing a very big rise in terms of these brands.
Yeah.
They're highly refined, very
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
It's like they're competing. There's
Yeah.
one brand after the other
Yeah.
in the TVs you see them. All these are turned into sugar. And the effect is the same in the body. Because you see the issue with sugar is, it gives you what you call empty calories. You get calories, basically you become big or fat, but it doesn't give you other nutrients. That's the problem with sugar.
So the only thing sugar does to my body is to make me
Calories,
fat.
just making you fat.
I'm not doing sugar anymore.
just making you fat.
Yeah.
It doesn't give other nutrients. You see now, food usually has various, the way food has been made, it has various, the difference between sugar and a fruit, sugar and a mango, sugar and a pineapple, there's a difference. You know which?
Yeah.
Because the fruit will have vitamins and minerals, and some things called antioxidants that help the body to fight diseases.
Yeah.
But sugar only has calories, only calories. So it just makes your life sweet. It's okay a bit, just to make your life nice. But the overdependence we are having now with sugar is a bit dangerous.
Yeah.
Because now every food has, the ungas are very super refined.
Yeah.
So then we got to be very intentional about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, are there snacks for children that are better alternatives other than taking, soda, which has super exceeded the 25 ml? Are there other options that are snacks that are better and have less sugar content
There are
for our
many-
children?
Yeah. There are very many snacks. Very many snacks that
Okay.
are good alternatives to the sugary stuff. And I will give a few examples.
Yes, please.
One of it, if you take now, for instance, some fruit salad in a cup, a cup of fruit salad, for instance.
Yeah.
It tastes good, but it's very healthy. Has the fiber, has the vitamins, has the minerals, it has the antioxidants, and it's beneficial to the child.
Okay.
Another one would be something like peanuts, for instance, nuts. There are many nuts, almonds, cashew nuts, macadamia nuts, peanuts.
Yeah.
All these are good, very good options that the child can take, and well roasted without again oil and too much oil and salt.
Yeah.
Other options: boiled maize, roast plantain. You know plantain?
Yeah, I know plantain, but roast plantain surely.
It's very nice.
Okay.
Or yes, it's very nice. Plantain is not, even boiled plantain is actually good. Not much. There's a plantain that is a bit sweetish.
Yeah, I know
You know it?
plantain. Yeah.
Yeah. So, or even the roasted semi-ripe bananas our grandmas were making.
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
after cooking the semi-ripe bananas, as we call them matote.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys call them.
I don't know the name, but I know them. Yeah,
Yes.
they used to put them under the ash.
Tastes very
Yeah.
nice. That kind of thingy, which it's a bit imeungua kidogo.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
good snacks. And of course, also roasting maize. The culture of roasting maize at home. And now there's no maize now this season.
Also in Nairobi, do we roast maize kweli in our
No, we don't.
small
I think
houses?
we buy in the streets.
Yeah,
the
we buy in the
guys who roast maize who actually do a really good job.
Yeah.
Basically, roast maize is actually a better snack than a smoky. It is. Yeah. Anyway, so that's another type of snack, and of course yogurt.
Yeah.
Yogurts are also okay. There are also upcoming ones like dried fruits.
Okay.
Have you ever seen dried fruits?
Yeah, dates.
Also good. Dates are an example, but also dried fruits like dried mangoes, dried pawpaws, dried bananas.
Okay.
We need to start investing in value addition in our homes. We don't do value addition, Frida. And unfortunately, you find that we usually waste a lot of food and lose a lot of food.
Yeah.
Because we are not a people who add value to food. We don't experiment. I think we are too busy at work.
Yeah.
Because if you go to Shags or you send food from Shags, or you go to the market and buy a lot of food, rather than it getting spoiled, like now the bananas, the fruits,
Yeah.
you can actually dry them. You can dry them, even with an oven. And they become super dry, and you actually store them and give them to children as snacks.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Because most of the times you receive a whole gunia of bananas.
Yes.
Then they come and get ripe at the same
At the
time.
same
Avocados as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a very brilliant idea. Yeah.
So you can actually dry different fruits and actually mix them up. You just cut them in nice slices, and then you dry them pole pole. If you have access to the sun, you can actually sun dry them.
Okay.
And then you can now be eating pole pole.
Yeah.
Those are also good snacks. As you travel, you take them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So such a good ideas to snack. Even popcorns are okay. Just for children, not the caramel ones with too much sugar.
Okay.
The kawaida ones.
Just the plain ones, yeah.
The plain ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about sugarcane?
It's also fine. Sugarcane has minerals and vitamins as well. In as much as that's where sugar comes from.
Yeah.
The difference between sugarcane and sugar,
Yeah.
one is highly processed, another one is natural. Children should eat sugarcane.
Yeah.
It's good for the energy, it's good for the minerals, potassium, and also on the exercise their teeth.
Yeah, for the teeth.
These kids of Nairobi, their teeth are too soft. They need to experience that sugarcane, yeah. And of course, did I say fruits?
Yeah, you said fruit.
I think now it's mango season.
Yeah.
So eat a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So on some of these creative ideas, like now that the issue of fruits, there's a way you process the fruits.
Okay.
And I can recommend you watch a few YouTube videos at home. YouTube has everything nowadays. So even ChatGPT, I'm a big fan of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So that you can learn how to process the fruits
Okay.
in a way that is very safe. Because again, now with the value addition at home and this DIY project, you've got to be very careful about food safety.
Yeah.
And I think we also discuss food safety as we have our conversation. But basically you're supposed to cut the fruits into very thin slices.
Okay.
And then sun dry them, or if you have a dryer at home, there are these dryers that you can buy in the markets. Or you use your oven.
Oven, yeah. Yeah.
The oven can also dry. Unatumia very little kidogo temperature. Leave it the door a bit open, so that the water can come out.
Yeah.
That vapor. And then you have your fruits. They should be dry vizuri, like leather. Yeah, not too hard, not too soft. They should be like leather. You can actually eat them like that. Yeah. But you can just check on YouTube. There's many resources about how to do this.
So I should not take a whole banana and
No. Don't take a whole banana.
What's the danger?
The danger is you start getting mold growing on them. Mold.
Because they're already ripe.
Because they are ripe.
Yeah.
And the conditions are favorable for mold. And mold is a dangerous, depending on what food or what mold. It's a very significant food safety hazard.
Okay.
We have a big problem with molds in food. Some things like peanuts, maize, there's a mold we call aspergillus that gives off a toxin called aflatoxin.
Yeah.
One of the causes of cancer in Kenya is actually aflatoxin. Yeah. Related to poor drying of maize and peanuts and all those. Some of those cereals. So even at home, you've got to be careful about mold. Even bacteria can actually, if you don't handle it with cleanliness, you can expose the processed foods to some bacteria like E. coli, salmonella. So just be careful. Hygiene is important. But I think we've got to get started. You will learn as you go. You will not die.
Okay. There are these picky children who prefer sugary food to, the normal balanced diet food that we have at home. How can parents handle such children when serving food?
Yeah, so about these children now, one thing that is very clear is that children usually learn. They learn from the environment. A child will not be, there's nothing like I'm a child and I naturally am addicted to sugar. You see, they have learned it from somewhere. Either sugar is taken a lot in that home. As you see nowadays, the parents, like I've said, we are eating too much of the processed foods and they are high in sugar. It cultivates that, the taste in the children. And the solution to that is actually these parents changing, stopping with the sugar and the cookies and the cakes and the sodas all the time, cutting them down. Okay? And it is also doable. Another one is that we are leaving our children to house helps these days. How many of our households take time to train house helps on nutrition, on food handling, on parenting, on raising children? Very few. Very few. They come in to, we take them from Shago and we trust and pray that you will take good care of my children. I think we need to be more intentional about how we are raising our children in a way that is a bit of, we are careless in that part, right? Because not every house help will be careful enough, patient enough, and kind enough to feed their children with the right things. They might give them sugar here and there to bribe them, or they might basically just not feed them the proper way. You find that children nowadays, I've had many cases of parents complaining, my child hates vegetables. They cannot stand them. There are so many of such. And you find them struggling. In fact, we are in a very big crisis and we don't even realize that our food is becoming sweet and has been becoming sweet for a long time. And I want us to think about this, how our forebears were taking our ancestors. wherever they were. Do you think they were having sugar, a lot of sugar, and sugary stuff?
No, of course not. Yeah.
Studies show, back to studies,
Yeah.
that Kenya in the 1920s did not have problems of hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease. We didn't have those problems.
Yeah.
And these are published studies. You know, the Wazungus, the colonialists came here a long time,
Yeah.
and they had already established hospitals and systems.
Yeah.
One particular study was done for, I think it was 2 years, in Nyanza region, among the Luo men. And the study showed that, and it's a published study, these guys in the study never found one case of hypertension. Hypertension is high blood pressure, not even a single case.
Wow.
And he noted, as these people aged, the blood pressures were getting lower, not higher. You know, nowadays, when people get 40s, 50s, the blood pressure starts misbehaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
That time, the blood pressures were getting lower for the age groups. You know, they were doing age groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they knew each other. They may not have known the exact age because, of course, the dates at those times. And in that study, Dr. Donison describes how we were living, how these people were living. And he describes how the simplicity in which we lived. You know, we didn't have the cars, the sophisticated jobs, the apartments and everything. It was just village living and hunting and fishing and doing a lot of work, doing a lot of walking. From one friend to another, you had to walk a lot.
Even from home to church, home to school, like everywhere you went.
You had to walk a lot.
Yeah, it's a long distance.
So these days, of course, things are sophisticated, and it's fine to be sophisticated, it's fine. But our food especially has changed too much. From the savory foods we used to have, the bland foods.
Yeah.
I don't think actually it was bland, but it had taste. Our food had taste. But now we are adopting the sweetness, the sweet thing. And you find that if your food is not that sweetish, then it's not sweet of taste, it's the sweet of sugar.
Yeah, it's the sweet of sugar.
At least sometimes you find yourself craving for something sweet, you see?
Yeah.
So now, we need to correct this issue by helping our children, helping our children to not get addicted to sugar.
Yeah.
I have a friend who says she loves wheat very much, but she cannot make it at home because she will just eat a lot of it and the children will eat a lot of it. So she prefers buying it elsewhere once in a while, just to, I think, address the cravings, so the children are not exposed to that at home.
Yeah.
That's a good, maybe a good example of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I think, again, in the spirit of doing DIY and doing things, value addition, we teach ourselves to do these things at home.
Yeah.
You can learn to make banana bread at home and not have it too sweet. You can use the sweetness of the banana.
Yeah, and not add any other sugar.
Not add any other sugar.
Yeah.
We've already said replacing sodas with juices at home.
Yeah.
Use sugarcane juice to sweeten it, or honey. It's still okay.
Yeah.
But if you have diabetes, none of that is good. Yeah. So children, it's we need to really watch that. For these picky eaters, this season is not the right time to call them out, embarrass them, or teach them.
Yeah.
This is something you do the entire year.
Yeah.
Not at now. Now you're only eating sodas and everything. When you embarrass children and there's this power play that, there's that back and forth, it doesn't help them. Yeah. So the best thing is actually, once you realize that it's a problem, that all they are eating is now those sweet foods because they're there, then we start now, in January, we start now cutting down the sugars and the unhealthy foods from the, because sometimes you don't even realize. You may, because you're absent, you come home with chocolates, you're absent, you come the other day with sweets. You've been busy, you come home with, and so you don't realize you're feeding
and they are
addiction.
eating all that at
And
the same day. Yeah. For our children, are there helpful habits that help to take away those calories, like something like hydration, exercise? Does it help, or they will just stay in the body and destroy them?
I get you. So it depends.
Okay.
Nowadays we are seeing very, very big babies. And it's a
Obese.
problem, especially with obese babies. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Middle class, especially families, middle class. Now, for you to be overweight and obese as a child, it means there's a problem at home.
Okay.
And the best way to deal with this is to deal with the problem, source of the problem, the root cause.
Yeah.
One of the things I recommend then is that parents need to be intentional about something we call food literacy. And all of us, I think, we need to be very intentional about food literacy.
Okay.
Food literacy is knowing food beyond the shallow way we know food. Beyond sausage, beyond pizza, beyond ugali, beyond omena, beyond whatever.
Chapati.
It is relating with this food in a more intimate manner. Understanding where this food comes from, how it's processed, how it's prepared, the cultural perspective, how it relates with my health, particularly that one.
Yeah, not just eating.
Not just eating.
Yeah.
Knowing that this food, as long as I'm eating it, it has some effect in my body. This also means understanding that sometimes our food is increasingly becoming unsafe because of chemicals, pesticides, the aflatoxins we've talked about. So I'm cautious about where I am sourcing food. It means I'm going to be more intentional about doing a kitchen garden, for instance, to shorten the distance between where my food comes from and me. If it can be in your backyard, well and good.
The better, yeah.
Because the farther the distance, the more karabati happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So food literacy is a good thing for parents to understand, so that we stop stuffing our children with sausages and smokies and all those processed foods. And part of food literacy is something we call decolonizing our food and decolonizing our minds.
Okay.
Colonialism
Yeah.
hijacked our food systems. We were taught our food is backward, our cultures are backward, and that only Mzungu food is what? Is good. You know now,
Sweet.
right now? It's sweet. Nowadays we depend on less than 10 varieties of foods, different ones. And we can even count them, what we eat in our homes.
Yeah.
Wheat has to be there,
Yeah.
rice, maize, mostly that. Nyama hata si sana. Wakenya hata wakuli nyama sana. Kenyans need to eat more meat because you know it's expensive.
Yeah.
Of those carbohydrates I have mentioned, ni ngapi hapo indigenous to us? Zero. And yet ndizo tunategemea wakoloni. We were told our wheat, our pellets, our sorghum is backwards. It's brown, inakaa matope, na ina taste kama matope. I think it's about time for us to go back to those foods. There are some parts of this country where they are still eating those foods. Part of it is Western.
The
These
brown
guys in
ugali.
Western still do the brown ugalis
Yeah.
with the meal with cassava. They still have the vegetables, the indigenous ones. How many varieties of vegetables are consumed in Meru? Not very many.
Cabbages. Yeah.
Mostly cabbages. You started with cabbages.
Cabbages, yeah.
But in Western, you find there are many varieties.
Murenda. Yeah.
Many. And they
Yeah.
have prepared in different cultural ways.
Yeah.
We need to go back to that. It is beautiful. It is African. It was keeping our people safe.
Yeah.
But when colony came, they disrupted all that. Particularly in Mount Kenya. I've been studying this the past few weeks. How colonialism disrupted food systems in Mount Kenya region.
Okay.
You know, we were displaced from the highlands, the nice places. They were taken to concentration camps for long periods of time. They suffered a lot under the Mzungu. Somehow that had to have an effect on our food. It had to. Because if you think of it now, what we even take now, much of it is not traditional.
Yeah.
It's the mandazis for breakfast, chapati for lunch, rice for jioni, and the accompaniments also, of course, are. I think those ones are not so bad, the beans and the stews and everything, but the carbohydrates especially, which are a majority of what we eat. You know, 50% of our food basically are carbohydrates. I guess we got to go back there. The
Even the
matokes,
portions, yeah.
the mandazis, the bananas, the ndomas, the ngwashes, yams. When was the last time ulikula yam?
Kitambo sana.
It's very rich in potassium.
Yeah.
And potassium is good for blood pressure.
Yeah.
And the heart. In the heart. Nowadays, cardiovascular diseases are killing a lot of Kenyans. So we need to intentionally, the food literacy thing, intentionally do away with what are we eating intentionally.
Yeah.
And we go back to now the foods that we, if you go to the markets, especially these markets where they sell cereals, you will find many types of varieties of, like beans, for instance, the pulses. Try and eat those things.
Okay.
Try them, the noes and the army beans and all those. Try them.
There are like 5 varieties of beans, not even 5. More than
There are 5. There are so many.
Yeah.
There are so many.
Yeah.
There's even one we call Bambara groundnut, njugumawe. It's also in Western.
Okay.
It's really good when added to githeri. So good. Yeah. I mean, our food has been amazing. We just been losing it, but we need to take charge of it.
Yeah. Step by step.
Step by step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say, back now to the question on exercises and hydration, does it help to flush out the sugars that you've been eating?
I took a detour.
No, it's still.
Yes, for the obese people, for the overweight people, addressing the food first of all plays the biggest role.
Okay.
After we've done that, then now to lose weight, of course, exercise is important. This means now for children, try and let them go out and play. Hata kama si na huko nje sana wasibiwe, you know now urban settings, balcony hapo tu somewhere.
Yeah.
Or you buy them things they can do physically. Many toys and many games can be done physically. Skipping ropes. Let families have exercise routines, even within the house.
Okay.
Intentionally.
Yeah.
Tunaweka TV. There are many programs where you can unafuata an instructor.
Yeah.
And we do things. You can even let children lift bottles za maji, 5 liters. That's 5 kgs. Even you can do that at home. 10 liters, 20 liters. Basically, for you, no, not the kids, of course.
20 liters, my goodness.
Even for you to be a challenge.
Will be down,
So, or even just invest in those gym things at home. They're not expensive. You go to these Chinese shops nowadays. You come up, or even the local ones. There are many. You buy those gym things, moja tu. Then you can lift, you can skip a rope, even with the children. Yeah. Teach them to be physically active. So to be able to lose that weight, yes, exercise, diet, and mostly those two. Because you see with exercises that you're using energy. Because what happens is, how you gain weight, is that you eat more food than you need. You see, your body needs energy, right? Yeah. Even when you're seated like this, you're always using energy. Even when you're sleeping, you're always using energy. So sometimes we eat more energy than we need. The excess is stored as fat. Okay. That's the whole idea of how we gain weight. And so the solution to that is what?
Removing it.
Is not eating too much.
Not eating too much than you need.
And to remove the ones that you have, the excesses, 2 things. One is you do a bit of fasting, intermittent fasting. Okay. So that your body can start using some of that stored fat, right? And also the other one also of losing now is reducing your exercise. Yeah. To speed it up, because you're speeding up the process of losing now the stored energy. Because when you exercise now, you use now a lot of energy as well. Yeah. You get it? Yeah. That is the logic of it. Okay. And how do people lose weight? Even now, those ones who are in the ASALs, the arid and semi-arid lands, or people who are actually economically disadvantaged, is because they don't have enough food to eat. So they become small-bodied. Yeah. thin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and now how would we encourage our children to keep hydrating?
Hydration, buy them a water bottle,
Okay.
a nicely colored one.
Yeah.
I think do children have a problem? Children, I don't really necessarily think have a problem of hydration.
Okay,
it's not
probably.
a major problem, but
Yeah.
to encourage them, let them have a water bottle as they go to school. And I see sometimes there's creative ones, like they are even labeled. Like by
With an
10 o'clock kufikisha hapa, whatever o'clock, whatever.
Yeah.
And then as the day goes, the budget inapungua. So it can help them to keep doing that. Of course, another one is just keep reminding them to take water.
Yeah. How much water should they take in a day?
Usually, so for adults, we normally say 2 liters and around 2 liters. And this also means the tea that you're taking, the soup that you're taking, it's also water.
Oh, okay.
But for some of
That's
us who are actually camels, like myself, I can take 2 liters in a day.
Yeah.
I really like water.
Yeah.
And actually, what got me into water is going with a water bottle at work.
Yeah.
I had a water bottle, 2 liters.
Yeah.
And it's not like I wanted to take 2 liters, but because it's convenient, it's just there.
Yeah.
So when I'm bored, and with time, I got used to it.
Yeah.
For children, because now I won't say that specific liters, amount of liters, but at least let them take probably approximately a liter every day, 700 ml to a liter.
Yeah.
Because they also play a lot, they sweat, so let them go with that water bottle at work, at school, and they play at home. Water dispenser ikuwe karibu pia, so that it can encourage them. You can also do some creative things like adding some things like chia seeds there for the kids, and
Okay.
some things inside, some lemon slices, just to, even for adults, it actually
To change
works.
the taste
It
of the
works.
water.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. Okay. So during this festive season, would you say stress and lack of money, relationships, some of those stressors, do they cause people to eat more and to eat, in this case, unhealthy food?
That's a good question. And you've mentioned a few things. One of it is stress and relationship issues around these festivities.
Yeah.
For instance, now stress. Stress around this time is a very common thing. For instance, women are usually more stressed these times of the year, more than other years. You know why?
No?
Because they are expected to cook a lot of meals for a lot of people, a lot of time, wash dishes.
Yeah.
Ask some women and they don't look forward to Christmas.
Yeah, it's true.
And there's a running joke with Kenyans that when you are the poor one in the family, you're given those tasks people feel are old, like kukata matumbo, like kuosha vyombo, kila mtu hata wamekula, kukata kuni, and your children wanatumwa all over. It's just the Kenyan joke.
Yeah.
But stress is, and of course for even for men, because now it means I have to take my people to the village, and sometimes the income is not so good or something, and how will people view me? I've been in Nairobi for a long time, I don't have a car yet, so then they go and hire vehicles and to impress the villagers. So a lot of stress does happen. I think I wouldn't say there's a connection so much with too much eating. Of course, there always is. When people are stressed, some people eat a lot. But I think probably it would be nice to connect issues of stress to issues of income. And actually just say that you don't have to overdo during Christmas. If you don't have enough resources, don't overdo, don't overcook. You don't have to take those trips to the village. Just stay wherever you are. Okay. Spend time with your family. So that then you're not so much stressed. Like I said, we are going through a drought of sorts. The rains haven't come as we expected. Maize and other crops might fail. I think some have failed already. And we are looking at a time where food is going to be expensive in January and Feb. And I think part of March, until the rains again come back. So, and of course, school fees is always an issue with parents. So yes, enjoy Christmas, cook good food, but don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Let it not bother you. And a very important thing I've also been learning about gender is that men should also help at home in terms of especially preparing food.
Yeah.
So that we don't leave all these tasks to women. It is okay for a man to be invested in food and in food preparation.
Not to sit and watch.
Not just sit and watch.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you less of a man.
Yeah.
At least,
look at the
at least, as a man, make sure that you're cutting the firewood. Let alone your women cut firewood at home. They are cutting firewood with the shockers and they are cooking your food, and you're just there seated and drinking yourself silly. So just help around at home, so that now food preparation becomes also fun for the women.
Yeah.
Traditionally, men were involved in food preparation. They would go out and hunt and come back with the food, and the women would cook. These days, even the hunting, I think, has been left to the women, and that's also good. That's not so good. So yeah, help women with house chores at home.
Yeah.
It's something I've been learning.
Yeah.
It's something I've been learning.
Yeah.
And I actually, personally, I cook. I enjoy cooking, but it's because I enjoy cooking. There are people who don't,
Yeah.
but they also need to help.
Yeah.
So that
There's a balance,
everybody feels nice.
Yeah.
Where now Christmas, it's the women's time
To get tired.
to get tired
And to hate
stressed,
home.
and to hate home, and to hate home.
Yeah.
And now these things of this culture of impressing, this culture of being showy, that I have to go and show everybody how I'm doing well out there in Nairobi and everywhere. I think we also need to really deal with that
Yeah.
and just live simple lives.
Yeah.
There's an advice in the Bible that says what? Lead a quiet life and mind your own business.
Oh, okay.
You know that verse.
I thought you meant contentment.
Even contentment is also good.
Godliness is of high value. Yeah.
Yes. So that now, because again, families are becoming very toxic. You know, families are becoming really toxic. Yeah. So my point was that we don't overdo, so that at least for the mental health issues, we know there's January coming, and it's just a few weeks.
Yeah.
And school fees is needed. Food will be a bit expensive.
Yeah.
So that at least, things will be good. Yeah.
Okay, so I heard you saying that children below 2 years. Let's just go back to children again.
Yeah.
Because I think that's some of us parents have. So it's those children who are below 2 years. You said that they shouldn't get sugar at all.
Yes.
So would you mind explaining that to us? Why shouldn't we put some sugar in their uji, some sugar in their drinking chocolate? And also, what should we give them this festive season?
For these children below 2 years, usually they are still breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because ideally we say breastfeeding continues to at least 2 years.
Yeah.
From 2 years it's fine. So, and it's also a time when they are learning on foods, on taste, to appreciate certain textures of food. It's a very, very tricky period.
Okay.
When we introduce too much of the sugary foods to them, you know, sugar is just sugar. Anyone will like sugar.
Yeah,
it's addictive,
sweet.
it's sweet, it's something that people will love, even the children. Now, these are periods where now they may start refusing other foods now because they just want the sugary, the flavors. So you got to be really, really careful about not giving a lot of it.
Yeah.
Kidogo is fine for uji, but you see now if they're going to take 2 cups of uji, that's like a teaspoon in a day. Sindio? But now the sodas, let's not give them sodas.
Yeah.
Juices are fine. The
Fruit
blended
juice.
ones.
Yeah.
But anything that you add, now the sodas, the chocolates, the sweets, let's just avoid giving them the biscuits.
Yeah.
Again, because of also oral, the teeth issues as they're trying to get teeth. So to avoid these addictions and the patterns where the children, you had asked a question about some children who are very addicted to sugary foods. That is part of the reason, because they are exposed to sweet foods very early.
Yeah.
They will not want to eat carrots
Yeah.
and the managus and spinach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because they taste.
Yeah.
They have no taste.
Yeah. Okay.
So then, any fruits are good, yogurts are okay, and I will also still encourage families to try and make even yogurt at home for the family, not just for children. Yeah, because then because the industry yogurt also has a lot of sugar, too much.
Yeah.
If you can try and make it at home, well and good, and it's not difficult to make it at home. Yeah.
Okay.
You get your milk, whole milk, and you process it. You make your yogurt. Ndio unapimia sukari. It doesn't have to be a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So then, as we come to a close, what are those nice routines and patterns? What are that we develop during the festive season? What are some of those that we can carry on towards the beginning of the year, the new year?
Thank you so much for that question. One of it is sharing food.
Okay.
We are people who love sharing and giving. Kenyans give. We give in church, we give. But it's not natural for us to actually give food to people who need. And there are many of them. Statistics show that 34.5% of Kenyans usually struggle. They are undernourished.
Yeah.
They struggle to get food. We are among the hungriest countries in the world. Right? So let's learn to share food. And you can do this through church.
Yeah.
Churches. Some churches have programs whereby people who are vulnerable come and get free food.
Yeah.
Intentionally give towards food and feeding people. The second good habit is reducing food loss at home and waste.
Yeah.
Cook food that is enough. Serve food that you will finish. People really serve a lot of food, and that food goes to waste. Like I said, we are losing up to 40% of the food that we grow is spoiled in Kenya. And it has many implications, including now that food is not available for another person to eat.
Yeah.
And that food is contributing to climate change because now it is dumped. You pass through those in the urban areas. Lots of food scattered all over. And it's also not a godly thing to waste food.
Yeah.
It is not. Yeah. So serve the food that you will finish. Do not cook too much food, that more than the family will handle. The other one is also being careful about food safety.
Yeah.
Hygiene. When you're preparing food, where you are sourcing the food. For the longest time, we have been people who trust one another. Yeah. We buy food anywhere from whomever. Try and look for food that is safe. And one of the things I recommend to families, look for an organic shop where you buy your vegetables. Because our vegetables out here are not very safe because of pesticides, because of being grown in sewers and with sewer water, because of heavy metals. Try and look for an organic shop. And there are so many, or an organic farm. And there are so many of them, even here in towns, even here where you live, many organic farms where you can buy vegetables from. Yeah. The thing of buying things from the market just anyhow,
we are not sure.
We are not doing very well, basically. We are in that space of advocacy and just teaching people the public health. And our farmers are using too many chemicals to grow our foods. Too much. I think we'll discuss that in another forum. So many chemicals. Some of them banned in Europe, where they actually weirdly come from, because they cause cancers in those countries. Yeah. But their laws allow them to sell to Africa. So we buy them, we use them, and those highly hazardous pesticides are causing problems. You know, now we're having a big problem with cancer. Yeah. Cancer. Very big. Even in our villages. Where is it coming from? Yeah. Food. It is those foods, and of course other lifestyle issues, but mostly the food that we are having. So food safety important, and learning what we've said, food literacy, learning about food, be more intelligent, be more knowledgeable around this issue of food. Yeah. and have your nannies and house helps and domestic managers, whatever you call them, trained on food.
Yeah.
We hope to, from next year, in our institute, IFJAD, have a program where we train house helps.
Okay.
We require you and your house help to attend a 2-week program or a 1-week program.
Okay.
Online, virtually in the evenings.
Yeah.
And you learn about food. It is important for you to be there also in as much as they are the ones doing it. So that in case they go here, you can also teach the other one.
Yeah.
So you don't have to
Or
keep
when
doing
they
these
go for
courses.
holiday, you're the one with
You're
the
the
children.
one, yes.
Yeah.
But it's really, really important because if you think of it, our nanny is actually bringing up our children.
It's true.
Yeah. And you trust that.
Yeah.
They trust that. But you see, they don't always follow the right things, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah, food literacy, food safety, sharing of food, especially sharing. If you will not forget, remember anything about this conversation, remember to share food.
Yeah.
Many people are hungry. Many Kenyans. Let me scare you a bit or shock you a bit. There are Kenyans in this country, in this Nairobi city, who depend on food in the garbage in regularly. That is where they get food from. Did you get that?
Yeah.
There are Kenyans who
I'm
depend.
scared.
There are Kenyans who depend on dump site food for survival. Like if they don't get that, they won't get another food. We were doing some work this year, a project in what we call child-headed households. There are households who are headed by children because the parents died, or parents are so much into drugs that the children are the ones looking after them, or the parents are sick with chronic terminal illnesses that children are looking after them. So there's the Dandora dump site, for instance. That one feeds many people.
Oh my God.
The bones that you eat and you bakia some nyama, some people depend on that for food. So let's learn to share. Let's be actively looking out for where can I get a place to help. Because people are hungry and desperate out here, my friend. Sometimes as we are going about our lives and stressing about things that don't really matter a lot, there are people who are struggling to get a meal. Others depend on 3 mandazis and soup. So wananunua mandazi 3, wanaekewa soup. That one is good for the whole day. They are good. 15 shillings, you are sawa. So, but we can help one another. There's something called Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a philosophy, is a Southern African philosophy, which says, I am because we are. I can only go so far because my community cares for me. There's care around it. So we can plug into that rather than just wasting money, especially now people are so much into alcohol, and we waste so much money on that. Let's save some of this money and then we give towards charitable causes so that we can help to feed those who actually are actually hungry. And it's a Christian duty.
It's a Christian duty.
Feeding the hungry.
Yeah. Wow.
I also probably should have mentioned, now that I've mentioned alcohol, one of the things that is very well known with Christmas is over drinking. I know this is a Christian-based show, right? Yeah. So you tell people not to drink at all. From my perspective
now... Or we
now,
expect the ones watching are not drinking.
From now, my perspective now as a trainer who trains everybody, I recommend moderation. Moderation, because people drink so much over these seasons and you find them dropping down there by the trenches. So again, that culture also is really negative, backwards. People should do everything in moderation so that, again, to save money and also for the sake of health. Because nowadays young people are living in what we have called non-communicable diseases, kidney diseases. Young people are very sick with chronic kidney failure.
It's so sad.
So we can take control of ourselves in as much as sometimes also things have been tough economically, but we can still try hard and live right, do things the right way.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What a great way to end this show. I think I have lots and lots of takeaways. from what Crispus is telling us about sharing food. During this Christmas season, we are always told to share Christmas spirit, share food, share clothes, but now carry it forward. Let it be, an annual practice, not just for Christmas. Throughout the year, let's just share food, because many people are looking out for those pieces of food that we give. But before we finish, Crispus, would you like to give a parting shot to the people watching you today, just generally about nutrition around this festive season?
Okay. Yes, so mine is to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2026, regardless of the circumstances you're going through in our homes, in our individual lives, just to keep trusting God and depending on God, and to make sure that we love family, and let there be that togetherness. Don't overspend, don't overcook, don't waste food, share food. And we'll see each other in 2026, God willing.
In another show.
In another show as well. And also to thank you so much for having me here. It's been a great privilege and honor to have this conversation.
Okay, so thank you so much, Crispus, for coming and for sharing your wisdom and knowledge. We really appreciate, and I hope that my viewers have really learned a lot about nutrition, not just now, but it should be something that is ongoing, parents and children alike. Remember that whatever you feed to your body really affects your body in all ways. Food that you eat, drinks that you take, the sugars that you're taking, they just go to your body and affect your body. So I think another takeaway that I have from this conversation is just get to know, have that food literacy, get to know how food affects you, where that food has been bought or where it's coming from, and how it's coming to affect your body. So thank you once again for coming, and thank you to my viewers for watching. Let me know your takeaways from this conversation on the comment section. Also, just like this video, share it with your friends, on your status, on Facebook, everywhere. Let your friends also get to learn about this very useful and helpful nutrition conversation. Thank you for watching. It's a bye for now. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.